Ungarali Majinu, Paula Kruger, ABC Radio, Canberra Wurrigi.
And you're on afternoons on ABC Radio Canberra, where it is 15 minutes to 2 on your Thursday afternoon. And throughout this week, we've been talking a lot about mental health and how to keep yourself physically fit, physically happy, mentally safe during these times as well. And so right now, it's going to be a challenging topic for some of you who are familiar with it. So I just want to warn you that we're about to have a conversation about domestic abuse. And with domestic abuse, it can be physical. It can be emotional, but it can also be financial. And the financial abuse is not something is something that is not commonly discussed. And but we're going to have a conversation about it here on afternoons. And so spousal financial abuse, it disproportionately affects women. And it is particularly prevalent in some communities. But basically, it's where a husband or male partner is traditionally expected to take charge of money matters. And there are some cases where women are denied financial rights and face, some of the devastating consequences of that. So with me right now is a woman who has worked very closely with refugee and migrant communities and has had first-hand experiences of this form of domestic abuse. And while it's common, it's not necessarily understood. Welcome to Afternoons on ABC Radio Canberra, Dr. Sabrin Farooqui. She is president of the Cultural Diversity Network and is an academic, a social worker and a community advocate for social justice and for cultural diversity. Dr. Sabrin Farooqui, welcome to Afternoons. How are you going today?
Thank you very much for having me here. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, Paula.
Now, firstly, can you tell me a little bit about what exactly is financial abuse?
Financial abuse is when basically people are abused financially, in the sense, in some cases, they don't get the money they need, they don't understand what finance is, and completely controlled and dictated by the partner. And in some cases, they earn the money, but they don't know how to spend it, what their rights are in finance in Australia. So, this is basically the thing. They don't have the understanding, or even if they have the understanding, they don't have the power to control it.
And why do we consider this a form of abuse? Hello, Dr. Sabrin?
Yeah.
Yes, and so why is this classified very much as a form of abuse?
It is abuse because it is, in Australia, it is your right to control your money. So you have the right. And the thing is, yes, if I give the power or the control to my husband happily, that's all right. But I have every sort of right to control my money and my earning. But in many, many cases, it doesn't happen. So even if I earn, I can't spend my money. And even if I don't earn, I am pushed to bring the money for the family from external sources. So it is definitely an abuse, definitely a form of abuse, and it has severe impact on mental health.
Why are women disproportionately affected by this?
Because traditionally, men look after the finance of the household, and as you said in the beginning, I've been dealing with refugees and immigrant community for a long time. And it is very common. It is also common in Western culture, but in migrant community is more common, I will say, because people from, let's say, Asia or Arab, my experience says that it is like their family income is severely controlled by the male partner. So it is pretty common with women from those communities, and it is also common in Western culture, but not as much as those communities.
You mentioned just before that it has an impact on mental health. What is the impact that you see on the people that you've dealt with?
All right. I see actually pretty severe impact. People can't forget it. When they talk about, let's say, if they talk about their past experience, the first thing they will bring up is this financial abuse. Because what happens in most of the cases, women come in like spouse visa, they're dependent, so they come after their husband. So when they're new in the country, they don't have any money to spend. And the husband tells that this is how it is. So you tell me how much money you need, I'll give you. And although in some cases women start working, they have to the husband, and they don't have any control or on their expense. So what happens, like how a person feels is like they're completely dependent on the partner. And so they're poor and they don't have any economic independence. So it has mental impact because they lose control on themselves. They don't have any independence. They don't have money to spend. So these all have very negative impact on even the confidence and everything. So on the personality. So it has severe impact on the mental health. Yeah.
You're on Afternoons on ABC Radio Canberra, and you're hearing from Dr. Sabrin Farooqui. So she is president of the Cultural Diversity Network, and she's also a social worker and a community advocate. And she's giving us an insight into what financial abuse can look like. Dr. Farooqui, it sounds like such a challenging problem to deal with because you're dealing with something that's happening within a family unit. What are some of the things that can be done to support women in this situation?
I think two things, I think, very important, although I'm saying two things, but they are pretty broad. One is financial independence, arranging things for to make women financially independent. That's one of our focus from Cultural Diversity Network. That is point one. I'll go into details later. And the point two is financial literacy. So what happens is, as I said earlier, that most of migrant, not most, like the unemployment rate of migrant and refugee women is higher than men, although they come with same skills, but they can't go to the job market for various reasons. So they are financially dependent on their male partner, so which increases their possibility of being financially abused. So we have to address this problem of making them independent. So we have to make a way, or have to teach them through different ways how to get a job for them, or maybe small business. They can start small business. So financial independence is very crucial factor here. The second thing is financial literacy. So even if some people earn the money, they don't know what what superannuation they're getting, or where the money is going to, how to use the online banking. So they need to know about these things as well. So these are two major parts of financial independence and literacy, I would say, to address this issue of financial abuse.
Now, what have you seen? What kind of change have you seen in women who are able to get some of this financial independence and financial literacy that you're telling us about?
What change they have gone through?
Yeah, what have you seen in women who have been able to, find out more about money and get some financial independence?
Yeah. So you can see a lot of change and positive change.
Yeah.
I run projects with men and women, but my focus is women empowerment. So it's a big part of women empowerment. So like if someone gets a job and understands the situation, like how to control my money, how to spend my money, let's say, the person feels so much better and confident about living, and it completely changes the personality and I'll say the whole living, the standard of living, everything changes. You'll see a more confident woman when they are in control of their finance. And when they know about how to spend the money, how to save the money, what the budget is, and all those things. So it makes them more confident, less dependent, less vulnerable to financial abuse. As you understand, when I know how to spend my money, when I'm earning my money, definitely I'll have more confidence in dealing with any sort of abuse. It will give a woman a voice to fight with abuse.
And, at the moment, we're looking at the effects of a COVID-led recession, and that's all Australians are facing that. Are there any particularly unique problems that you're concerned about when looking at migrant and refugee communities facing COVID-related recessions?
Yeah, very unique thing, I will say. The employment area of migrant and refugees especially women, because if you look at the data, Australian economic data, you'll see that many women work in retail, then restaurants and tourism and hospitality. These are the most impacted areas in COVID-19. And the job in these areas actually suit them because they have family responsibility, young child, and childcare, and all those things. So many people are casual there. So and these jobs are gone, as you know. And for casual work, many people are not getting this job keeper. So they are severely impacted. And that's why we are focusing more on employment preparation programs for women of migrant and refugee communities, and especially women, as I said, because their unemployment rate is higher than the men. But employment preparation program is very important for COVID-19 situation, especially for these communities. Yeah.
And what kind of things do they do in a job preparation program like that?
Yeah, so in job preparation program, these programs address every sort of issue. So there are different kinds of projects that we run. If it is a bigger project, we address, let's say, how to look for jobs. Like there are many organizations that help people to look for jobs. We go into partnership with them, and then they can tell the participants how to look for jobs. Then we go into partnership with community organizations where different communities participate in our programs. And also we address the issue of how to write CV, how to prepare yourself for interview, what is a management's expectation while they're hiring. Then the importance of social network, which actually many people don't know. And I didn't know when I came here. So importance of social network, greater understanding of selection criteria, how to write it. And also, like, there are so many small courses in TAFE and, TAFE and like colleges here. So they can do those things. They can learn more practical things and can get into job market. They don't have to always, do what they were doing in their own countries. Many people are happy to change, and have the new skill and get into the job market. But the thing is, they don't know about these things, that these are available here. So we also arrange these information sessions, how to get into the new job or, acquire new skills. So we have, sometimes we have one-to-one session as well. So these things help a lot.
Well, it sounds like there's so many helpful things there. Dr. Sabrin Farooqui, thank you so much for joining us on Afternoons today. Dr. Sabrin Farooqui is the president of the Cultural Diversity Network, and she's also a social worker and a community advocate there, giving us a bit of insight on Afternoons today into what financial abuse looks like.
This is Afternoons with Paula Kruger on ABC Radio Canberra.